Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye. Before we get into this bullshit, let's get into the intro. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you do that. Put the notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate all the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So I seen a video today which makes me wonder. It's like the jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how he keeps from going under. And I call bullshit. First of all, the video I seen by a content creator, I have nothing bad to say about the dude. All content is good content, from what I hear, right? But sometimes you just got to hit the nail on the head and say, Das, enough is enough, man. Stop it already, right? Stop bullshitting the people. Cain Velasquez is in Wasco State Prison. That's a fact. Cain Velasquez got just under a year. That's a fact. In fact, his earliest projected release date is March of 2026. So that's just under a year slightly. He'll be home before then. We all know this. It is what it is. For those of you that have been keeping up with the Cain Velasquez story, you already know, man. Some fucking PDF messed with this child allegedly. Hey, the guy lost sanity for a temporary moment. Chose to jump in the Suburban with a turban and do his thing with the 4.5. Click, clack, clack, clack. Someone got hit. Cain Velasquez fought the fucking good fight for over 3 years and ended up with a 5-year piece, extra crispy. It's cool. He's in Wasco. He's in reception. He's in prison. He will be moved probably in the next few months to another prison. Now, while in custody in Santa Clara County, downtown San Jose in the county jail, where, of course, the Norteños are the prevalent group, meaning they are the deepest. There are Southsiders there. There's Crips. There's Samoans from the SOS. There's a little bit of everybody, Asians, when it comes to San Jose. And when I say Santa Clara County, that means all guys in the vicinity that are Santa Clara, Milpitas, Sunnyvale, all these other cities. They all go to the county jail in San Jose. Now, while in San Jose, Cain Velasquez was not running other. He was not running Paisa. He was definitely not running Norteño nor Sureño. He was running brown shirts in. He was in protective custody. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to give you the bullshit. I'm not. No added preservatives. He was in protective custody, not because he asked to be PC'd up or because he's scared of anyone. This is the world heavyweight champion, former world heavyweight champion when it comes to the UFC. Major hands, knockout artist, jiu-jitsu, all the good stuff, right? So there's no reason, look in my eyes right there. There's no reason to think that this man would be scared of any other man, period. But again, one man can't fight an army. That's the truth. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be Big U. You could be Big Cain. You could be Big Gun. And at the end of the day, I'm probably going to lose first. Well, I know I'm going to lose first, right? But that's just how it is. At least I'm not scared to fucking put it out there and be real. One thing I'll say is this. Cain Velasquez wasn't running with anyone. He was in protective custody because of his celebrity and because of the nature of his crime and because that's where they chose to place him. So that way there would be less issues and less drama when it came to Cain Velasquez. He didn't ask to be PC'd up. That's where he was placed. Now, that's where the conundrum comes. Now that he's in Wasco prison, Santa Clara County is done with them. They've washed their hands of him. He's no longer their issue or their problem. He is now in Wasco prison, reception. And yes, I'm here to tell you he is not on the active side general population. He is on the SNY yard. And I know there's no such thing as SNY anymore. Now they're programming yards, integrated yards. Doesn't matter what fucking label they put on it. He's on the soft side. He's on the other side. He's on the side with the non-conforming and non-actives. And he's going to continue to do his time there. He's not going to be embraced by anyone. No, Cain Velasquez, look, I call bullshit. He is not going to run with the Norteños. And I'm going to explain to you why he's not going to run with the Norteños. Knee high. Near, doesn't, my dick down on my knee. Near or whatever, the Sureños or the Norteños. Okay, he has two options. He's not going to run with the Norteños because first and foremost, he was placed in protective custody. And I don't give a fuck who you are. God himself if he did time in protective custody amongst the weirdos, amongst the guys with bad charters, amongst the trash, the basura, the nonconformers, the degenerates, whatever different fucking twist DOs that you want to put on it, because of that reason, he is not going to be able to come back and just chill on an active general population yard and be embraced by the Norteño movement. Because it's pretty well known worldwide that Cain Velasquez was functioning in Santa Clara County in protective custody. Now, if Cain Velasquez would have went there, if they would have been like, we're going to put you here, if Cain would have said, fuck that, I ain't no PC, I ain't no none of that, I ain't no snitch, I ain't no rat, no punk, you're going to place me in the hole, I'm going to do my time in the hole or in GP or nothing else, which, of course, he had the opportunity to do that. Okay? You don't just have to go where they send you. You go where they send you and you get off where you're mad at. That's a fact. But because he didn't take that next step, the Norteño movement is a very strict militant group that I was once part of for several years, laced up at a high level. So I understand the get down. I've had homeboys that actually put in work for the Norteño cause, that actually did dirt, murders and all that. And because they function on a bad yard or somewhere they weren't supposed to be for over 72 hours, guess what? No can do. Now I know about the buyback and all the bullshit that people talk about. Well, if you got money, you can come back. The homies will bring you back. Well, that's bringing you back because you once were embraced as a homie. See, Cain Velasquez is an anomaly, a hybrid, a Tesla, something different. He was never part of the movement. Being as it may, and he's just a civilian and a regular prisoner, now a convict because he's convicted. There is a slight possibility that people could overlook the fact that he was in protective custody and maybe so say, hey, you're allowed to walk on a general population yard or one of these programming integrated yards. Yeah, he's probably going to go to an integrated yard, more than likely. But in the integration yards, there's people that are there that are programming, that are considered from the other side. Used to be SNY. There's no longer that anymore. 50-50 or whatever you want to call it. And then there's those that are on the integrated yards that are not supposed to be there. And they know better. When they get back to any type of 4-yard or any type of general population yard, if they are transferred, they're not going to be welcomed with open arms because they function amongst degenerates. So Cain Velasquez would never get embraced as a Norteño just because he's born in the city of Salinas. He was not even raised in Salas. He was raised back and forth from Yuma, Arizona and San Jose. Okay? He never was a gang member. He never was part of that cause. He never functioned or strived for that. He doesn't know the concepts. He doesn't even know what the Norteño movement's about. So the Norteños are not going to just be like, hey, you're one of us because you were born in Salinas. There's a lot of upstaters that were born in Salinas. There's a lot of upstate Sureños that were born in San Jose, Modesto, Merced, Tulare County, Richmond. I can go on, but why? They're everywhere. Okay? So just because you're born in Northern California doesn't automatically mean you're going to associate or you're considered a Norteño. That's not how it goes. It's not how it works. He will not be embraced by the Norteño movement. And no, he is not actively running with the Norteños right now. In fact, he is in Wasco prison in reception, Bolo. Now, he could run Paisa. But let me explain what that entails for those of you that don't know. If, because he has brown pride and he is Mexican of Mexican descent, he wants to run with his people, which is more likely what you do. And when I say run with your people, it doesn't mean you're gang banging and you know, you got to run with your people, meaning you have to side, go sit down, eat, function with your people. Doesn't mean you can't say buenos dias to another group segment or ethnicity. It just means you know where you stand. If crunch time comes and shit goes down on that yard, you're going to get hit just like any other brown man would get hit by the opposition, period. The paisas don't take in anyone. You know, I know a lot of people like say, oh, anyone could go claim paisa or bank paisa. No, it's not that serious. If you go in there and you have gang-related tattoos, a 13, a 14, a 18 on you, something that symbolizes a gang, and then you try to say, hey, I'm not doing that no more. I just want to run paisa. The paisas are not going to let you because they don't want any of the other baggage and bullshit that goes along with someone running into you and says, hey, I remember in the county you were banging 18 or 13 or 14. And then guess what? It puts them in the mix. They ain't trying to do that. Also, another thing, in the general population yards of the California Department of Corrections, the paisas will function under the same side of the yard with the Southsiders and up under the Southsiders, just the way it is. Meaning if the Southsiders get in the mix, more than likely the paisas are going to jump. And if the paisas have issues, the Southsiders are going to back their play because it's puro Mexicanos, Sureños, and Mexicanos combined. That's how they do it. So if he did decide to go to the prison yard and get embraced and be a paisa and be allowed to function with them, well, here's something that a lot of people don't know, then he would actually be functioning on the same side of the yard and amongst the Southsiders. And again, because he was in protective custody, because he ran around in a facility wearing that brown shirt in PC, right? He would not be allowed to function with the Southsiders. So they're just as strict as Northerners are when it comes to shit like that. No one's going to overlook something because you're a celebrity. This is prison, the prison system. No one's going to overlook the fact that you're a good fighter. Hey, you can fight however good you want, but I ain't never seen a man beat a knife, ever. You might be able to take the knife away from a few motherfuckers and utilize it, but I ain't never seen a motherfucker strike a knife or do a takedown on a knife. Okay, I don't give a fuck how much jujitsu you know. That knife always has sharper skills than you do. Believe that. So I seen the content creator saying, hey, Cain Velasquez, there's an opportunity or a chance that he could run with the Norteños, but my inside information, this, and that, whatever. Que la chingada. Look, I'll tell you right now, he is not functioning nor running with Norteños. He's not running with Southsiders. He hasn't had the opportunity to do that because he's on a yard. He is in Wasco prison on the soft side of the yard, the other side, where nobody is really running with anyone unless you're part of a protective custody gang. Unless you're associated with a PC gang or what they consider, I don't know how they consider them now, PC, active, whatever, right? Then you're running with a certain group, okay? And again, it crosses all color lines and barriers. You might have, like, say, the Northern Riders who are predominantly Chicano group, Mexican-American, Norteños, but there are dudes from Southside that run with them. There's white dudes that run with them, ex-skinheads that run with them, don't run with them, run with them, don't run with them, run. They just run, right? There's a lot of dudes that are black that run with them. That's what I'm saying. It's not particularly based on race. It's based on your beliefs and who you're fucking with at that time. And a lot of the dudes that get involved is because that's the larger group on the yard, and so they want to be a part of something, or they want to be protected or safe. They figure that's the way to do it. Just go with the flow, go with the bigger group. There's a lot of dudes that do that, and it never works out in the end, because what happens is they eventually touch down somewhere where the opposition is deeper, and then, oh shit, the true bitch boy comes out in them. That's a fact, right? Now with Cain Velasquez, just because you're born somewhere doesn't automatically make you that. You know, I have a father that was born in Los Angeles, California, LA, and moved to Northern California as a kid. 13, 14 years old, he moves. I don't know about you, but back in my days, by the time you were 13 and 14, you're already catching murder cases, guns, youth authority, all that. Like, motherfuckers already been there and done that. When I hear like these guys getting jumped in gangs at 30, 40 years old, 25 years old, what the fuck you been doing, homie, with your career the last 15, 20 years? I'm not here to say being a gang member is something that you got to do, but you can't. You're Johnny come lately, and guess what, homie? There is no coming lately. You got to stay where you're at because it's too late. See, back in the days, you got in as a young kid, 10, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and you built your career. By the time you were 15, you were banged out for the gang, and that's just how that was. So being that Cain Velasquez was born in Salinas and moved to Arizona and then had some interaction with San Jose back and forth, whatever you want to believe his story is, doesn't automatically mean the Norteños are even caring about what Cain's got going on. There's not a Norteño on that yard like, oh, we got to recruit him or we got to pull him. He's going to help us. Because if you guys don't understand the prison system in California, as we speak, there is an end to hostilities, meaning, yes, it's always cool to have numbers. It's always cool to have a strong soldado, a strong-minded soldado. But let me explain that to you. It's always better to have a strong-minded, someone who's laced up, someone who's educated, indoctrinated, and well-respected within his hood and within the system on your team than it is just a fucking maniac that can fight good. There's a lot of people that can fight good. Maybe not to the level of Cain Velasquez, but at the end of the day, they can still throw them tangs. Okay, next thing you know, we're going to have dudes popping up talking about Cain Velasquez is running Bulldog or Cain Velasquez is running as the other. Now, I said there was two options. One is running Paisa. The other option, right, and that's if he was to go to a general population yard by some mistake. Again, depending upon where he went, he might not be able to rock there. They might say, nah, bro, I don't give a fuck who you are. You was over there with the degenerates. Let me go back with them. Now, I don't think Cain Velasquez is going to go to an SNY yard if they still have them, which I heard they do for level 4s and shit. I think Cain Velasquez is going to go to a soft-ass level 2 integrated yard, programming yard, maybe pull up to maybe quite possibly Mule Creek 3 yard or, on an overflow or pull up to a soft 2 yard like Jamestown, or maybe even, I don't know if they still have the 2 yard over there, wherever. Okay. That's where he's going to go, and he's not going to have no issues, and he's not going to run with anyone. If anything, dudes are going to run up to him for his autograph or run up to him and like, hey, what's up, Cain? It's not like you think it is. Now, if he went to a level 4 180 yard, the only thing running is metal through him if he acts stupid. That's it. Because that's the way they play. I don't give a fuck who you are or what your reputation is. You live by the knife, you die by the knife. That's how it is on the level 4 180 yards. Even the 270s all the way up into the 3 270s, that's how it is. Motherfuckers don't care about how famous you are. You know, go ask X-Rated how it worked out for him being famous. Go ask fucking Flesh and Bone how it worked out for him being famous. There's a lot of people that are semi-famous or famous in the rap game, whether they're rappers, whatever they're into, trappers, that go to prison and they don't get no love. They get treated like everyone else. Hey, guess what? When you get that sack lunch, you might get 2 if you're lucky because the cop likes you. But when you get that sack lunch, guess what? There's an orange in it, just like everyone else's. And you get that fucking hard-boiled egg in the morning. These are all facts. So to hear content creators say, hey, Cain Velasquez is running with these, or they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Stop it, man. Nobody knows who he's running with. One thing I can tell you for sure, I'd be flabbergasted and baffled if the Norteños were to embrace Cain Velasquez just because he could fight good. You know, the cause that I remember, they didn't give a fuck about that. They cared about how educated you were and the willingness to defend the household, what you were willing to do for social status of equality on behalf of the gente. You know, as far as the Southsiders go, well, there's really no connection there with the Southerners besides having brown pride on your chest and being a brown man. He wasn't from Southern California, has never been from Southern California, so there's no reason for them to even take a second look at him. Again, there are people that, because they try to gangbang, because a person comes from a certain area or is born in a certain area, it's like, oh, he's fucking one of those dudes. No, Cain is not. He has never been a Norteño and never will be a Norteño. Now, if Cain decides, you know, on these yards that he goes to that he wants to run with a PC gang, a dropout gang, affiliate or associate with them, that's on him. Only time will tell. He's rocking on peanut shells if he does do that. And I'll explain to you why. Because the moment he decides to do that, you know, everyone's going to look at him differently on that yard. Now he's going to become a bully. Now he's going to become someone who's hangs with people that are there just to extort and push their weight around because they got a few numbers. A lot of people on them dropout yards, on them on the other side, are running away from that. They don't want to be a part of that anymore. And there are those that are running to it. So that's why they go, because they don't want to be in general population where the hammer will come down. They want to be the one with the hammer in their hand and no one else have it. It's kind of like hunting. They want everyone likes hunting until the deer has the gun. Then motherfuckers don't want to go hunting no more. All of a sudden they want to go fishing, right? That's how it is. So as far as these stories going out about Cain Velasquez running with the Norteños, no, he's not. He's going to go to a yard where you have a choice. You have a choice who you're going to kick it and associate with. You know, it doesn't mean because the yard he's going to go to, he's not going to have to sell up with another Mexican, you know, play by the active rules or the politics that general population plays by. He's going to go into a yard where he can sell it with a black dude, a white dude, whoever he likes, whoever he befriends. You know, one thing I can tell you for sure, he's not going to be on sell-alone status or walk-alone status. That ain't going to happen. You know, you got to catch some bodies, several, to get that happening. He's going to go in there. He's going to take a celly. Just like anyone else, they're going to be like, hey, he's going to be like, I'm Cain. Yeah, watch your fights, bro. Oh, what's up? Boom, cool. You want to work out a little bit? That's that. Do his little bit of time. Go to chow hall, get his fucking food and whatever. So many people are focusing, who's he going to run with? What's he going to do? He ain't going to do shit. And even if he ran with Norteños and they embraced him for whatever crazy reason, or Southsiders or whoever, he ain't going to do shit. He's going to be on a level 2 yard in a fucking dorm where they ain't doing shit. They're going to have him on post like a big old ogre all day, just standing there. Nothing. Of course, ain't no one trying to fuck with him. He's not going to have no issues. If he does have any issues with anybody, it's because somebody decided they wanted to test the froggy and they got ribbit. They got ribbited. That's it. You know, I don't advise anyone to fuck with Cain. He does. Look at them eyes. That's a hitter right there. He doesn't look like the type of dude that's there to fuck with anyone or get fucked with at all. What they say in that movie, Shot Caller? I ain't starting no shit, but I ain't taking no shit either. That's his mentality. I could tell. So as far as, oh man, he's going to kick it with the Norteños, or he's not even going to go to a fucking main line to a GP to kick it with Norteños. He's going to go with a bunch of non-active Norteños. He's going to go with a bunch of non-active gang members or whatever the fuck they are. and go chill over there and do his time and get on down the road to his family. That's a fact. That's what he's going to do. Everyone that's interested in, hey, Cain's a Norteño because of this and because of that, there is no because. Because doesn't matter in the California prison system. Not at all. There's no fucking because. Why'd you stab him? Because he was talking shit? No. Why'd you stab him? Because I wanted to. Orale. You know what I mean? There it is. Anyways, I'm not here to fucking downplay any content creators' content. Do your thing. Speak on what you want to speak on. I got a banger coming tomorrow that's going to address a few little things. But one thing I will say is this. You know, all that, I got inside sources and information. Who, the cops are telling you this? They're lying to you. This dude ain't running with no fucking Northerners. He's not running with Southerners. He's Cain Velasquez, a political refugee from Yuma. Hey, shout out, respects to everyone. Just another little banger to drop on your headpiece for the day to tell you, no, Cain Velasquez is not running as a gang member in prison, at least not yet, right? But and you know what? And there is a chance, though, a slight possibility he does go to general population and they do give him the pass because of who he is and because they know that they put him in protective custody, not that he asked for it, but because he was put there because of his celebrity. But I highly doubt, knowing how the Norteños move. But again, they have changed. Things are changing, not for the good or the bad. They're just changing, right? And times are rough. Times are different. But I don't know, man. I can never see it possible. Cain Velasquez becoming a Norteño because he was born in Salas. What about the fucking Sureño that's across the yarda that has boggles on his stomach that's from Salas? What about him? Is he a homie too? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people. Facts are, Cain is probably going to run his time in and then run the fuck up out of there. And that's it. They're gone.